Hey everybody, it's Charlie from Daily Motor. Today we're out driving the 2021 Acura TLX. Now I've been really happy with this car over the week that I've had it. A lot of cool stuff about it. It looks good, it drives well. It's overall just kind of a new face for Acura, and it's a cool commitment to their luxury sedan game. I think the TLX was pretty forgettable before 2021 model year, and it's nice to see life being breathed into Acura. The new RDX is very good, and this TLX is very good as well. So we're going to drive around a little bit here, talk about its merits, any issues we might have with it, and give you my final thoughts. And if you like what you see, hit that subscribe button and be sure to check out our other TLX content if you're so inclined. We've got a real-world highway fuel economy test as well as a dedicated review of this ELS 17-speaker audio system, which is absolutely excellent. So if you're interested at all in car audio, click the link in the description for that video. We're going to come on up here and take a quick look at the outside of the car, a little walk around, do a little bit more driving. It's certainly not the best driver's car in the class. I think if you really want something that's meant for driving, the BMW 3 Series or possibly even the Genesis G70 might speak to you more. But this is really quite a good all-arounder. Taking a look around the cabin, you see a lot of Acura NSX influence. This whole shifter area. It's a nice symmetrical design with the screen right in the middle. Physical HVAC controls, which I really like to see, as well as physical heated and cooled seats, as well as an auto function and physical button for the heated steering wheel. Unlike the Q50, which we also had this week, where you had to go into the screen and go to climate, wait for it to load, and click steering wheel heat, you got it very easy right here in the car. Very nice layout for everything. A little bit overwhelming possibly with all these buttons, but once you get used to it, once it gets comfortable, once you've owned the car, it's really a nice layout. I'm still not 100% sold on this trackpad for the infotainment screen. It works better than other trackpads, but that doesn't mean it works as well as a touchscreen or a rotary knob. I think Acura really had their work cut out for them deciding to go with a trackpad function and make it usable. The way it works is this trackpad is supposed to mirror the layout of the screen. So say I want auxiliary input, I'm going to touch about right there on the trackpad, and you see it lights up, and then when I click down, it selects it. I go home, and I'll say I want settings. I click about right there, settings, and there we go. Now you don't have to get the position exactly right each time. You can slide around, be like, where do I want? What do I want? Let's go over to this screen. I want to slide over to phone. And then you push down wherever you were at, and then click and release. The problem is there aren't any physical buttons to get directly to a lot of the things you might use. So say, for example, you are in navigation and you want to switch from Bluetooth audio over to FM audio. You'd have to go home, there's one step, swipe over, there's 2 steps, and then FM radio right here, 3 steps. So it's 3 steps to just get over to the FM radio, and then 1, 2, back to navigation. I will say the voice controls do work pretty well, so you can say something like, switch to Bluetooth audio.
Playing Bluetooth audio.
So that's another option if you don't want to click into here, wait for it to load, swipe over, go to Bluetooth audio, and go to there. So the trackpad isn't the worst in the world. It's certainly a lot better than the old Lexus implementations. I just wish there were maybe a few buttons, perhaps right here, maybe here, possibly even up there, to go directly to things you'd commonly use. Your phone, your navigation, Bluetooth, FM, maybe even just a media button in general. You do have that little side display as well. You can swipe through, say maybe have your navigation up as well as your, Sirius XM on this side. But like I said, if you do want to see more on the infotainment screen, how Android Auto and Apple CarPlay work, and all those other functions, hit the link in the description for our dedicated review on the infotainment system. Looking elsewhere around the cabin, it's a really handsome use of materials. You've got open pore wood, nice cross stitching, Very coherent design. I like the dark black leather down here with the lighter colors up there. The gauges look nice. There's a decent head-up display that's very adjustable right here through buttons. Everything in terms of ease of use is quite good with the TLX. Got a decent amount of storage space in the center console. 2 USB-A ports, 3.5mm auxiliary input. Nice padding, rubberized material down there to keep things from rattling around. This material is pretty neat. Overall, definitely a good design. Heading into the back seat, not quite as comfortable as the Q50 that we were just in, but still a plenty fine place to be. You've got heated seats, vents for the rear. The seat incline is a little sharp and the headroom's not fantastic for a 5'10" individual. Other than that, you've got a fold down armrest, and this is a plenty fine place to be. It would be a little tight for some car seats. I mean, you do have your latch anchors buried under here, but I don't know if you'd be able to fit a rear-facing car seat and have the passenger have all that much legroom. The rear seats do fold, so let's go around to the trunk. You've got this trunk button on the side, pops up. You can fold those down right there. And come in. Relatively flat load floor, but not a very large opening, so you're not going to be able to get any super bulky materials in there, but it does expand the usability a little bit. Trunk, very basic back here. Don't even really have any hooks or anything. It's just a place to put stuff. Up underneath, no spare, so you're on your own. Very big battery though. I like it here in this black. I think the rear's got a little bit of a strange view to it, but the front looks really nice. It's a very wide car. They made it very low, very wide. They've shrunk the Acura beak grille a little bit, which I like to see. Very beautiful headlights. Almost looks kind of Audi-esque. I've had a few people comment to me they thought it was an A5. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Do you think Acura is on the way up with this car? Or do you think it's too little too late for Acura and its luxury sedans? Let's get behind the wheel again, talk about how it drives. You have 3 drive modes for the TLX: Comfort, Normal, and Sport. I guess technically there's also an individual mode in there, so you could, let's see how you customize that. You can customize your engine, your steering, your suspension, your lighting, and your idle stop. So I want to do engine, sport, back, stop start enabled, back, steering, comfort, back, lighting. Sure, let's do sport. I like the red ambient lighting, and suspension, comfort. Okay, off we go. I really like the push button shifter. It's very subtle. It's just built in here nicely. Makes a lot of sense for exactly how you want to use it. It's 2020. We don't need big old stick shifters taking up a bunch of space in the middle of the console. We're dealing with a turbocharged 2-liter engine straight out of the Honda Accord, tuned for this vehicle to make a 272 horsepower, 280 pound-feet of torque, made it to this 10-speed automatic transmission. All of it results in a good, compelling package. This engine is gutsy, and Acura did a really good job at tuning just the right amount of turbo boost, having the engine build up just enough power to feel strong but not too eager. Go full sport mode here. S mode for the shifting. I'm actually going to manual shift with the paddle shifters down into this roundabout. The car does automatically shift for you even in manual mode. It doesn't hold gears. You hear a lot of that fake noise. That's piped in. This 2-liter turbo certainly does not sound like that. If I shift down into comfort mode, you hear it's a little bit quieter. Very balanced with this all-wheel drive. Almost even felt a little oversteery coming through there. So that's kind of fun. Now this is not the sportier A-spec version. So it's not going to hustle quite as well as that one, but it's going to be pretty comparable. Transmission's not incredibly responsive or snappy with its shifts. It's like it does it, but takes its sweet old time. Now when I'm not in sport mode, I find myself just driving around in comfort. I don't really see why you need a not comfortable mode. I mean, I know that maybe there's some sort of driving you'd want to do that's not exactly laid back, has a little bit of extra suspension liveliness and shift liveliness, but for me, if I'm not driving aggressively, I'd rather be getting good fuel economy and be comfortable. So I don't really find myself using normal mode. It's mostly just either sport or comfort. All the materials feel so good in this car. There's not a single squeak or rattle. Everything feels very premium and really solid. Let's sport it up for getting on the highway here. Impressed with the handling of this car. Let's go into comfort, set the cruise control. You do have adaptive cruise control and some active lane keep here on the TLX. Close the sunroof. This is a loud section of highway. It's concrete, but even then, TLX is pretty darn quiet. If you want to see more on that, check the link in our description for our real world highway fuel economy test. Talk a little bit more about highway comfort and road noise, as well as what kind of fuel economy you can expect cruising at 70 miles per hour. I like the little animations that come up when you shift drive modes. It's a nice little touch. Do a 0 to 60 start. And we'll do a 60 to 0 braking test and try to straddle these dirt lines. Very strong. So the coolest thing about the 2021 TLX is how recommendable it is. This redesigned Acura is a car that if someone were to come up to me and ask me, hey, I'd like to get kind of that next step up of sedan, I want to go luxurious, but I don't want to give up practicality, I want it to look good, I want it to just be a good all-arounder, daily driver, but a nice vehicle, this would be very high on my list of recommendations. It's going to be reliable, relatively efficient, well priced, and have one of the best sound systems on the market. I'd say if you want to go a tad bit more conservative and slightly more beautiful on the styling, the Volvo S60 is certainly a strong contender. Probably the most comparable to this car. Has a little bit wider range of powertrains, but at the end of the day, you're dealing with 2-liter turbos, lots of gears, just a different approach on the interior and exterior styling. Also a very good sound system. This is a tough segment, but I think Acura is really making a stake for itself in relevancy, and it's a pleasant surprise. I think you're going to hear a lot of that from a lot of different reviews and journalists, but if anything, that just corroborates Acura's good job with this vehicle. Cool little exit animation there. I should also say this is a really neat place for the wireless device charger. You just slap your phone in there, charges right up. It's a decent size and grippy material, so it's not going to slide around. The only thing it would have been nice to see in here is a USB-C port. I feel like they just barely missed the train for that, and I would not be surprised to see USB-C in 2022. It'd also be nice to see wireless Android Auto and or Apple CarPlay, but again, not the end of the world. It's a very nice job here from Acura with the TLX. If you guys liked the video, hit that subscribe button, like, and check out our other TLX content, and we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.